Alright, moving on to another video, and this one is a comic review of Gatchaman Volume 1. This is another book sent to me by my friend Chris. Chris, thank you once again. And yeah, this is third, as of this recording, Mad Cave book. No? Would it... like, Mad Cave has now been a comic company that has now been sent to me a few times. I did a review of their original comic, You've Been Cancelled. I did a review of their Dick Tracy relaunch, which I actually really enjoyed. And they do have a Flash Gordon comic out that is being sent to me by Chris. That's written by, and it really, and while I do like Flash Gordon, what really got me interested is that it's being written by Jeremy Adams, who over at DC has been a really solid writer, doing things such as, one of my favorite Flash runs as of late. I loved the first volume of his Green Lantern, and he's now writing Aquaman. Cool. So that got me, was like, oh, Jeremy Adams writing a Flash Gordon comic? Sign me the fuck up. But we have Gatchaman. Now, Gatchaman is a classic anime from the 1970s, who most of you would know best from when it was called Battle of the Planets. It was an anime series that was adapted into cartoons in the early 60s, early 70s era. And I don't have a lot of connection to the series. The closest I have is that I know what it is. I have a vague idea of an understanding. But I also own the Witchblade Gatchaman crossover. No, really, that's a thing. There was a legit Witchblade Gatchaman crossover. I have it! It's real. So this is a reboot of the series written by Cullen Bunn, who I think is probably the best guy they could have gotten for the job. Cullen Bunn, if you need like big bombastic like Toho like tokusatsu kind of storytelling, you get Cullen Bunn to do that, because he's really damn good at it. And I do hope that maybe Mad Cave and Boom Studios can work together and do a I'd love to see a Power Rangers Gatchaman crossover by Bunn, because Bunn did write the Godzilla vs. Power Ranger ones, and he is versed in both these genres, franchises, I mean. So this story basically is kind of a like I said, a semi-new take where science, they call themselves the Science Ninja Team, Gatchaman, but both names apply, and they've been battling the evil forces of Galacton. And Galacton is like a Cobra version, like an alien demon version of Cobra. And these guys have been at war with them for a while. But the thing is, Galacton has been playing dirty as of late. Like, they've been playing a lot more nastier. They've been doing a lot more like dangerous stuff that's killing thousands. And Gatchaman is only like a single squad. So their leader, their professor, basically is like, yeah, I've been secretly building a new team to in case of an emergency that leads to Gatchaman being killed. So that's kind of the main crux, is that we're slowly building up to this B team being in charge. But that doesn't happen in this volume. That's clearly what we're building towards if this comic series continues, is that B team is going to take over the series at some point. But right now, we follow the main Gatchaman team. I think that's kind of smarter. That's kind of a smart move on Bunn, because if like you killed off all of Gatchaman in the first issue, and then said, "Oh no, the team's all dead. We're gonna bring these guys in now." Right at the end of issue 1, no one would have bought this. So it's kind of nice to have that this version of Gatchaman is basically basically being built up throughout the comic. I mean, I know it's inevitable, but right now we do follow this series where Gatchaman is in the midst of trying to stop a new plot by Galacton, where they're kidnapping scientists to build a super weapon of some kind. This is basically the plot from Wild Wild West, the movie. No, really, think about it. It's the exact plot to the Wild Wild West movie, where instead of a giant robot spider, it's a super weapon. Yeah, but the comic is pretty solid. There is some great action in here. And the dialogue feels right out of the cartoon. I will say that right now, is that the dialogue feels right out of the cartoon. and the action's pretty solid. I will say that there, with June the Swan, the girl of the team, June, there's a lot of like panty shots with her, and I don't know if that was Cullen Bunn's call or the artist's call. I feel like, so I'm like, there's some like, yeah, she's fighting, but there's like some upskirt shots in here. I'm like, all right, was that necessary? Come on. The comic's pretty solid, and it definitely feels like if you were a major fan of Gatchaman back in the original series, then you probably definitely feel like a deeper connection to it than I had. This was kind of a okay start. I do feel like again, I'm not really connected to Gatchaman like some people are, and I feel like the comic is trying to a little too hard to build up this new team to replace the original team, and at the same time, I really do feel like the comic itself it doesn't know if it can straddle the line between being a more grittier reboot like the Dick Tracy comic was, or trying to be, for all ages. It feels like it doesn't know where to draw that line, and it's a little annoying. I do want to give it a second volume look, because it does leave off in a way where it's like, okay, it looks like we're finally going somewhere, because the first volume is more like, I've seen this before. But maybe a second volume will get me interested. I think it's good. I definitely would, if you are a major fan of the original Gatchaman anime, yeah, I would say give this a look. But if you are like someone new who's never really had an interest in it, I would say, it's nothing too major. So there you go. Once again, I'd like to thank my friend Chris for sending me this comic, and you guys tell me in the comments below. If you've read this comic, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.